Man. Welcome to our Tuesday last visual art class. We still have our live class on Thursday. So, just so you guys are aware. Welcome to the 2000s, everyone. We've made it to our little decade here. Screen share, bam. So the 2000s were pretty cool on the fact that public art and installation kind of blew up, right? So public places really putting these large, bright, really kind of simplistic yet really cool statue installations and things like that all throughout cities, towns, and things like that. They've always been done, but it like really exploded during the 2000s, right? So the first one we're going to talk about, most people have heard of, or at least around here, is Chihuly. Chihuly is a glass blower. He has his studio in Seattle. He does these amazingly large, amazingly colorful glass sculptures that go in all over the world. They're in Vegas, in China, they're in, of course, Seattle, in Denver. But like I said, a lot of people know him because of the whole like Seattle thing. I love Chihuly. He looks like a pirate. He lost an eye in an accident, so he wears an eye patch. He has like really crazy hair. But he does these really amazing, again, sculptures that also kind of remind me of my hair when I wake up in the morning. And maybe that's why I like him, because it's like, all right? But great use of color. And can you imagine, all of these are hand blown in his studio, but can you imagine like making something this big? They're just huge. So this is his piece that went in 2000 called The Light of Jerusalem that he did. You can read a little bit about that over in Jerusalem, his exhibition he did. Right, and these are the pieces that are there. So here's a man on this cliff, and here is his piece, the size. All hand-blown glass. All done. Just, he's amazing to me. And his pieces break in the middle of them making them. I would just cry. Jeff Koons is probably one of the most influential sculptors, public artists of the 2000s. So it's an American artist recognized for his work dealing with popular culture and his sculptures depicting everyday objects, including balloon animals. They are made out of stainless steel with a mirror finished surface. And they do in fact look just like giant balloon animals, which make me happy. Right? Isn't this cool? I think they're so cool. They're so fun and whimsical compared to everything else we've been seeing lately with the, darkness and abstract. Just like this flash of color and just the simplicity is so neat. Again, size comparison, you have the people here and the balloon animal dog here. Here's some more of his balloon animal exhibition, right? There's just this fun kid quality that pulls you back to the days of just really wanting a balloon animal. This is one of them in a fountain. Right, but what is this one? Does anybody know? I don't know what this one is. Other than a balloon twisted. Anybody got a guess? No? Cool.
I do.
What do you think it is?
I think it's supposed to be that one animal that's like a horseshoe that comes out of the sea.
I think maybe a flower for first season. Anyways, it's cool. I like it. There's some
Yeah.
them or a nose or a, I don't know. It's cool. He also did some showing of his artwork pieces along with some of his cool kind of installation sculpture pieces that he did. This is the New York Gallery's exhibit from 2003. If you ever played the game Cooties, this little childhood game here, and this lobster. He also has a series, and the lobster is part of that, that look like crafts that you would blow up, like cool crafts almost, and that's the lobster here is part of that kind of blown up looking thing. Right, same with the monkeys here. And Popeye series behind them. Okay, so these are his artworks as well as his, installation pieces. Our monkeys holding up the chair here. Again, very light and whimsical. A lot more fun compared to the last few decades we've been looking at, right? Definitely a switch here. So we also got William Rainin, who did the Roses installation. They are 5 to 10 feet in diameter, and the longest ones stretch up 25 feet from the street. These are over in New York, of the installation that we got of these like beautiful roses. Again, really looking at everyday objects and the beauty and the simplicity and the happiness of the bright colors. We have the Gates by Christo and Janae Claude, which ran the length of Central Park to attract thousands despite the winter weather. If you've ever been to New York, Central Park wraps around quite a bit. My son and I have gotten lost in it before. But you had this installation of these just bright orange shade things, right? That really ran the Central Park and kind of just this pop of color against the white. This is a big popular one that came out of the 2000s, which is called the Sky Mirror. Again, in New York, it is a giant mirror that showed up. Another really great, interesting kind of installation that nobody had been doing before. We also got large installations that came in our galleries, like this one. People played with scale a lot in the 2000s, right? Really, really like pushing the scale of things. So she's really neat. Parker here. So this sculpture installation is from the remains of a Southern Black Baptist church destroyed by arsonists. So these are actual like pieces of the church, right? It appears to defy gravity, suggesting like with the physical space and the worshipers and really looking at it, the spirits of, you see kind of the piece floating away. Right. It was, so she would use materials, just come up here. She would use materials from different areas and different things around the world. So this one was from, she took some of the excavated rock from the Leaning Tower, and these are the actual rocks from the Leaning Tower that she turned into an installation. This is a really cool one that went up called Forest of Numbers. So it was a kaleidoscope exhibition that featured 60,000 paper cutouts. They ranged from 0 to 9. They were suspended from the ceiling in groups of 4, resulting in 10 floating layers. It was very mesmerizing, stunning, symbolic of each layer visualize a decade of the future from 2017 to 2026. So I guess 2020 would be a nice dark layer, right? If I were to choose a layer. Oh, there's kind of a stillness throughout time that he was going for. As he walked through, you would just kind of get lost in time. Again, size of the person, size of the exhibition with the numbers. Right? This really just bright colored layering of number, right? So Christian here did this great exhibition that was very well known called Reflection. It really looked at people and yourself and made people try to confront their images and death and the life around them. It was a very mysterious. So you walked in, all along the all along the walls were mirrors, and then on these pieces of fabric were painted images, right, done this way. Again, the art of the 20s or the 2000s was very about an experiential thing and size. We had some great art that went up in the forests and woods and things like this. So we have this great twig ball that came. So Deborah Butterfield is an amazing sculptor who did a lot of work in the 2000s. She started about in the 80s, but this is when her pieces really evolved. Even though this absolutely looks like driftwood, it is not. It is bronzed, it's metal, none of it is stick. It is painted to look that way. We had these in the Denver Art Museum that are really cool. You would come up to a person, probably would come up to about the, top of the leg almost. They're again really large, amazingly detailed on looking like they are made of wood. But again, all metal. I would take my younger art students, they always thought it was fun to be able to touch it, and bang on it because it is wood. It was one of the ones you could touch. Another great example of our environmental Mr. Neal. Again, embracing size, simplicity, but not in a minimalistic kind of way. So what are your thoughts on art of the 2000s, guys? It's very different than what we've been looking at.
Yes, it was. I remember the horse very well.
Yes. Yep, big is good. What makes it cool? No.
It was so different.
Do what?
It was different.
How is it different though? Why is it bizarre? Using some great adjectives, but use, some art language about why, what you think is. Anyone? Care to expand upon your adjectives here? Christian,
When I went to DC over the summer, there was a lot of art there that kind of like looking at these, it reminds me of the art in DC.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the art in Denver as well, Rebecca. Yeah, that's the public art. Christian, why do you think it's bizarre?
After having seen what exists in 1900s, it's just, I'm in a way at a loss for words.
Yeah, it's interesting how we can see like this pendulum swing, right? So we go from like really simple, minimalistic things, what looks like a block of Jenga, to like really abstract paint thrown on a canvas, to sometimes really dark, stuff that we've looked at to now this, which is really kind of simplistic and fun. So it's interesting how it just kind of swings back and forth as to, you know, what's in style at the time. You know, but as you're learning, it also models a lot of the world around it and kind of a reaction to. So those are things we'll talk about on Thursday, right? Like what this is, and yeah, a lot of 3D art. I focused on that, Rebecca, because that's really big of this time period that those installations started to become really popular, right? We're also too close to this decade for historians to have said, oh, this artist is really important and this artist is really important. We're still technically in this kind of time period of art. So it's harder to find like your canvas artists and things like that to say who's going to be the really big important people of the time. I can tell you these absolutely are important art-wise. Have already been deemed, you know, part of that who's who of the art culture and what's going on. Not that all art isn't important, but these are the ones that will go absolutely in the history books, especially our little balloon animals here and Chihuly. Has anybody seen any of Chihuly's stuff up close? Yeah.
No.
Denver. Anybody besides my son who doesn't realize he's seen them? Anybody been to the Chihuly studio in Seattle? Seriously? Yes, we would have.
I wish I've seen some. They look really cool.
Yeah, they are. If you get a chance to go out to Seattle, you can go to his studio, and you can see several of his pieces and stuff. They're amazing pieces. There was a couple here last year, and I took the 7th graders last year to see some of his pieces. There may be some by the Grand Canyon. I know in a lot of like botanical gardens, like at the Denver Botanical Gardens, there was a bunch of his pieces. It typically, for some reason, go well with water. So there's a lot of ceiling pieces. There's one, I think, it's at the Bellagio, maybe, in Las Vegas, that I got to see last summer. If you ever get a chance to do glass blowing, it is so fun. And it is quite an amazing experience. I wish I could teach you guys glass blowing, but man, we don't have the insurance for that one. All right, you guys' assignment. So let's looking at what you're going to do. You have to create one or the other, not both. So you either create some kind of like sculpture. If you create a sculpture, I would like you to take it outside and set it down and then like get really low with your camera angle to make it look really big. Like, you know how you like you zoom in and you can make something look really big with your camera, right? So you're gonna make it look as if it is like a giant public sculpture. It can be made out of anything that you want. Be creative.
Okay, I can do that.
Try and go with something whimsical and happy. Could be Godzilla being happy and whimsical. But again, try to make something, a little something, take it outside and make it look really big with your camera angles and play with that. That's one thing. Another thing you can do is do some kind of installation in your home. That can be done in many different ways, out of many different things. So I don't want emails if there's toilet paper strung all around your house hanging from the ceiling on why children have strung up toilet paper, a very precious resource, all throughout your house. So think about what you're using. But you can do many different kinds of things, guys, okay? Try and think outside the box and have fun with it. This is the last assignment from me. Brandon, you have a question?
You submit this on Google Classroom or Mac?
You submit everything on Google Classroom.
Okay.
It's easier to submit on for art and easier for me to grade on art. Any other questions or thoughts?
No.
Any questions?